I'm gonna tell you something. I want to be humble, because I think it's super important in a person. But I doubt, and this is a big claim, I doubt there's nobody on planet Earth that knows this sport better than me. It's a big claim.
This episode is sponsored by SurfEars. Did you know that when you're foiling in cold water, that your ear canal can actually close up? You can grow extra bone, and then you can either lose hearing or you can get infections because the water that gets in cannot get out. So you should protect yourself with SurfEars. SurfEars are made to protect your ear, but you can still hear. Think about your health. Get your SurfEars in the link in the description. Stay safe.
This is Up on Foil, the podcast for everyone flying just above the surface. Pump, carve, soar, let's foil!
This episode is also sponsored by Foilsessions, but more on that later.
This is episode 75 of Up on Foil, the podcast where we talk all about foiling. Today with Carlos Saez, the tour manager of the SFT at Foil_Encounters. And this podcast is kind of divided in 2 or maybe 3 parts. Number 1 is getting to know you and your story, because we actually never met. Number 2 is like a foil history lesson. And then number 3, what is the plan with the SFT? What's going to be next? What are your future plans? And just, I have 2 sponsors of the show, and I would like a beer sponsor or a drink sponsor because I get thirsty. This is an alcohol-free beer, the Pilot from just a brewery just around the corner. So if anyone's listening, maybe hit me up. That would be super cool. And Carlos, just the last thing before we really get into it. If I'm wobbling around, I'm standing on a balance board.
I know.
All right. Also for the listeners, because someone mentioned it and said like, well, I wasn't able to watch that because you were like wobbling around. So like, that's why I tried to just do a little bit of practice. Man. All right. That was a long introduction. Carlos, thank you very much for coming on the show. Your acclaim, we just heard it before. You know all about foiling. And we want to know your story, man. Like, what was your way into foiling? How did that knowledge start?
I will tell you everything. But the funny thing is that I think we can do hours of podcast because we can get into companies, design, of course, the sports side, design. I mean, every kind of aspect, like organizing events, everything. Well, very quick. I don't want to. Can we share screen?
Sure.
Because I have some things prepared here. How do we do it? If I click,
there's a share button, and then
where is it?
You can share your screen.
Yeah, I see it. I see.
So for all the audio listeners, maybe this is the one episode that you want to watch on YouTube as well, so you can see what Carlos is sharing.
But I don't know if I will know how to do this. Let me see. Sorry.
No problem. So while you are trying to do that, I'm just going to tell the listeners. So when I talked to Eden the last time, he's like, yeah, and Carlos here, Carlos there. Then I saw you for the first time, I think when it was in Austria, the SFT. That was a video that you did, right? Or you did it with Nico.
Oh,
maybe. You were there. That
No.
was the first time that I actually saw something's of you. If you don't know my channel, it's at Matt on Foil. Follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to reach 2,500 followers before my friend Nico does. So if you're not subscribed,
you will get it. You will get it. I'll help you. This is an old interview they did with me in Australia. This is me surfing in Portugal. Portugal is amazing. Have you been in Portugal?
I have to say I've never been to Portugal. Like the most south part in like the Iberic island was like the Ebro Delta.
That's not Portugal. That's Spain.
No. That's the most south I've been on the Iberic island. Yeah.
Okay, then Vals says he's gonna visit me, and maybe also the Von Rolls, the brothers.
Nice.
So
cool.
You're invited. You can come anytime.
Thank you so much. Where do you live, Carlos? Are you allowed to share that?
I will tell you the story. Yes. I live in Granada, in the coast. I live in a paradise because, and this is kind of a secret that I'm going to reveal.
Wow.
Because we have amazingly, Vals knew this. There is a spot like 15 minutes from my place that works from March, May to October. Every single day is wind. In the morning is flat, like no wind. And then at 12, it kicks in. 15 to 20 knots every day. Always work, So
Nice.
it's a paradise, and it's flat water. Because this is in between two mountains. Okay. So yeah, this is an amazing place, and I live by the beach, very close. So when it's waves, I go surfing, of course, surfoiling. I'm not touching a surfboard in a few years already. Winging is the thing I do the most, and surfoiling since 2018 already. And yeah, well, it's an amazing place. You're invited anytime you come. Okay, so
Awesome.
I just wanted to show this. This is me with my father. My father here, he was a boat engineer, and my uncle is a sailor. So they've been building boats and boards since the beginning. So I started windsurfing in '85. I was born in '77. I'm 48, and since the beginning I was in the waters. This is what I did my whole life. I just wanted to show this very quick. This is me
Nice.
kiting. And then let me tell you the story of foiling, which is we all came here. You know the movie Forrest Gump?
Yes, of course.
I am like the Forrest Gump of water sports, because he was with Elvis, and then this is me. When I started windsurfing with 8 years old, sails were so big I couldn't lift them. So I started at 8 because at 7 I didn't have the strength. I was already in the board, but I didn't have the strength. So the best years of windsurfing, I think it was in the late 90s. And I studied sports science. So I moved to Gran Canaria, to Pozo Izquierdo, which is the Mecca. I mean,
Nice.
Mecca of windsurfing is Hoquipa and Pozo Izquierdo, these two places. So I was so lucky because I studied sports science. So I started training the Moreno twins. I was in class with them, world champion many times. Then I was caddy of Robbie Seeger, a very famous German windsurfer, Francisco Goya, get to meet all of the crew. I meet Robbie Nice, of course, Björn Dunkerbeck. I was with them at parties. I was enjoying life, studying and doing this. So since the beginning, because my father, who was building boards, I was into designing and building and testing. So I was involved with many brands and doing tests for magazines. That's how I started while I was studying. And I was coaching people to windsurf. I was doing these lessons, teaching forward loop. So when, people come from Europe, they were taking a lesson at the school. Here it was called Cutre windsurfing.
Yep.
Now it's called Pozo Winds. And yeah, it was so much fun. I love windsurfing. The problem is when I finished my studies and I came back here to Granada, the wind is not so constant because Pozo Izquierdo is nuking. It's always 30 knots, 40 knots, 50 knots. One day, I sail in 61 knots. This is my most wind. I remember it was only Robbie Nash and me windsurfing.
What sail did you use?
Sorry?
What sail did you use?
3-3 overpowered.
Yeah, that's
3-3.
overpowered, man.
Yeah, and when you fall, you have to swim to shore because the equipment is doing this, going to the rocks. But it was we were windsurfing and the wind was increasing, and then when I stopped, it was 61 knots. Someone was measuring. That's
crazy.
135 kilometers per hour, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I came back here, I was so disappointed because, in Pozo Izquierdo, these guys with Whippica in '98, they came with the first kite ever. We never saw this. These guys from France, Christopher Tasti and the Leganux brother, the inventors actually of the patent of Whippica. So when I came here, I stopped windsurfing because I was not able to have so much wind. So it was the beginning of kiting. So I picked a kite in 2001. It was the first kite you can buy. It was a Whippica
dangerous
Free Air.
ones, huh?
Super dangerous. I had a couple of really bad stories. Once a storm got me and I was like 5 kilometers, like, the movie Ben-Hur, that is like the horse like that.
Going offshore?
Yeah. No, going side to the beach, but I was like 100 meters. But the problem is when I was trying to stop, the kite was, when you stop, the kite lifts, and I was flying like a, I don't know, like a paper.
Like skipping rocks, huh?
Yeah. So what I did was 5 kilometers. There was a harbor, a big harbor, and I remember the how you call that? Like the lifeguards were in a boat by my side. So funny because it was like Baywatch. They were like super speed. I was doing like this, and they throw themselves. They didn't grab me, and I saw the guy like, and I was still going like, I don't know, 20 knots. So what I did is behind the wall of the port, it was behind a wall you have a shadow. So I put the kite there and I saved my life. But I was going straight into the harbor, into the boats, and that was scary. Yeah, before like quick releases or whatever.
This episode is sponsored by Foilsessions. Whether it is pump foiling, winging or parawinging, this app tracks time on foil, upwind angles and much more. For downwinding, you can set a destination and you'll get directions on your watch or on the earphones. Try it for free on the link in the description.
So I moved to Tarifa because I was working as an instructor. I was one of the first guys kiting, actually. Nobody could teach me because I think I got like the first or second kite in the country. Okay, so I went to Tarifa and I was started doing it a lot. Then I started competing, kiting. Then you have these new kids, super young, who were amazing. One of them was Álvaro Nieva, who later became European champion. The other one was Mallory de la Vie Marquet. I don't know if you know Mallory. Mallory was French champion. Álvaro is the head judge in the wing World Cup. And Mallory is one of the best judges. Rui Meira from Portugal. You know, all these guys, Cesar Portas, great guys. So we started traveling the world. Like I first coached them. They reached a really high level, like winning championships. And then PKRA happened and they need judges, you know, and I mean, not many people knew about kiting. I was coaching the guys, so I know all the tricks. So yeah, I did that for 12 years.
Okay.
Going all around the world. And this is the fun part because doing that, you know, every organizer, every people in every country, like key people, first time I went to Brazil was 2003, 2004. I think it was the first kite ever in Brazil. So TV was coming to film me with the kite, film me. And then now it's crazy. That's why I'm saying I'm something like Forrest Gump, but in water sports. Then after kiting, SUP, we went to Thailand for a championship, and Starboard was doing the first production SUP 2006. So I grabbed one of those because I was a surfer. I loved it, so I bring it home. I went crazy for the SUP.
How did you bring it home? These are super long.
Yeah, they send it to me. They send
Container.
it in the first container. I got the first board of the first container.
Yeah.
So I actually got 2 boards. And then I started doing every day. Then boards were too long. So I went to Pucas, the shaper of Gabriel Medina. His name is Cabianca. And he built a custom for me, a small one, 8 feet. And then I started competing and I was crazy. Like I was SUPing with the paddle, but in waves. Then these people started doing like long paddles in the ocean, but that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Because as you know, there are 2 kinds of sports. One is endurance, people that like pump foiling, you know.
Yeah,
people
sure.
like to go for 2 hours or runners and they enjoy running. They are in the zone, concentrated. I'm not one of those guys. I like having fun. So for me, it's all about jumping and doing flips and getting into the waves. This is what I like. I respect the other side, but not for me.
It's just another discipline, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to suffer like physically. I like to have fun and enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, then SUP, and then this is the story. Being at the PKRA in first World Cup, and I was going to show you here. Maybe I can find it. Okay, this is how I learned about foiling. First, well, foils have been forever around.
Yeah.
Let me share screen. You know, like of course, military uses like since hundreds of
Also
years.
transport,
Actually.
like on Lake Garda, when I was little, I was sailing. There were like these kind of foil boats just going from the south to the north. That was normal. Basically.
Actually, military people is the one that started designing and trying foils, which is amazing. So I saw some foils in the past, as you said, like these boats that had this in the front to save fuel, right?
Yeah.
But the real story is this crazy guy called Mike Murphy. You hear about it probably. Mike Murphy.
Is that the air chair guy?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But people maybe don't know, so let's show him here. Let me try to put some images. He's a super cool guy. This guy. So yeah, him put this. He kind of started playing with foils here, and he did this invention, this air chair, this crazy thing. And he's amazing. You can find it in YouTube. Put Mike Murphy.
Have you ever done it?
He's doing flips, and he's 70 something and still do flips with this thing. So the story is these guys from Hawaii, Larry Hamilton, Rush Randall, Dave Kalama. Their job is to seek rad stuff and try. So they got to know this, and then they do the famous snowboard binding boots with a foil, and went, I think, to Jaws or maybe Tiaupo. I'm not sure the place, but they were chasing big swells. So that's the beginning of foiling. This guy invented this thing, which is really, really similar to what we use now. Then Laird.
Carlos, just a question. Have you ever tried the air chair?
No. There are very few of them in the world, and most of them are in US. Boots, let me try. If people maybe haven't seen this. And then the good stories start here, because this is what we really do, which is this kind of foiling. Here it is. This is the same thing, okay?
With the steel foil.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Same foil from Mike Murphy used in this board. They used these boots. They were figuring out, right, how to make it work. And they need a lot of speed to make it work, because it was a really bad foil, actually, like
compared to what we have now. Yes, of course.
Exactly. And we will see how. So yeah, this is the beginning. And now this is key. This is key, because these guys did this in 99. So it's already 28 years ago, 26, 27. And then there's a guy, this guy is key. It's called Mango Carafino. And this is the real beginning of the story. Okay. This guy here with this board, he picked the board from these guys, from Laird. You see the thing here?
It's so crazy. So for the audio listeners, maybe Carlos, you can explain, or maybe I try to explain. What we see here is, I don't know, the lowest aspect foil ever. It's like aspect ratio of maybe 1. And it looks like it is steel, probably heavy as hell.
I think it was aluminum, but I don't know how you make it shiny. I have no idea. But the thing is, I met this guy, okay? So I was race director. By the way, you say I was the tour manager, SFT. I'm sports director, okay? Tour manager, because SFT is, they have the wing foil tour, the kite foil tour, and the SFT, which is new. Same people is doing those tours. And I was hired to manage. I mean, we will talk about that later, everything. Okay? All right. So I met this guy, which is a really cool guy. Carafino sounds Italian or Brazilian, but he came from Hawaii. Okay, so he appeared in 2006. He appeared in St. Peter-Ording in Germany, and he came with this thing. And I was race director, and I was like, "What the hell is that? That's crazy!" And he started kiting, and it actually worked. And the funny thing, he was going straight into the races. So they were not category. It's kite racing, so okay, let the guy do it.
Yeah,
so
sure.
we started the competition, and the guy, the people, I was designing boards. It was Bruno Srocca, the brand Srocca. Bruno was world champion in kite racing. And then the second rider was Sami Gali. I was doing boards for Sami. He was always fighting with Bruno. Bruno's board were made by Alex Aguera, and Sami were made by me. It's like you and Nico, okay, but with boards. So so the guy, we started the heat, and they were going super fast, and the guy was going upwind like this. So you're like, what? When he reached the first buoy, he was like already 2 minutes ahead of the fleet with the foil. But this is crazy. But the fun part is when he did the jibe and went downwind, the foil was not working. Look at that foil, as you said, aspect ratio 1. So it was only going straight and upwind, but downwind it was too small. Imagine to make this thing go downwind. When you're going downwind, the kite kind of the wing kind of
there's no power yet.
So everybody was passing him in the downwind, and he was passing everybody in the upwind, which was really funny. So I talked to him, and this is actually the start of the foiling we do. He has the credit because people saw this. Then the next year, I remember 2 French guys, and this is also very important. The Frenchmen, they used carbon. So they saw this, they used carbon. I think it was Tarua or Taroa. It was the brand. I think it's still alive.
Still exists, yeah.
Yeah, and these guys starting doing these foils, and I saw them like crazy changing tails and this and that. I remember in front of them was a 10 of Axis with Adrian Roper. He was knowing nothing about foiling yet. He came from he made the kiteboards at a brand called Underground, and then he switched to Axis. Yeah, so this is the story. And then people started kiting and it started growing. So foil comes from kiting, actually.
Yeah.
What happened? Then kiters they were wanting to do it with lighter wings. So they started experimenting with bigger wings. Then in Hawaii, Alex Aguera, the Go Foil guy, was building these custom bigger wings. And I think someone, probably Kyle Lenny, that's what I heard. Kyle Lenny, he's always trying to invent new stuff, to make videos. So he put this wing on a SUP board and tried to put it into a weight, and he managed.
That was a blue foil, right?
I'm not sure. I mean, the thing is, he was the first one catching energy, like a wave. And he said, okay, let's try prone. So they used a regular surfboard and put the foil, and that was the beginning of surfoiling, which is the beginning of pump foiling, because pump foiling comes from surfing, because they started connecting waves. So they go out and they pump. Then this other guy, Clifford Kotzer from Unifoil, did this, the first ever at that moment aspect ratio 1. So he went to higher aspect ratio in a foil called the Hyper, and that thing was already pumping way better. So what people started thinking, okay, now maybe I can jump from a dock or a rock. So they started doing this, and they managed. So the first guys doing this that I saw were actually Hawaiians and Australians. There's a guy called Foil Perth. You know Foil Perth?
No, I don't know. When was that?
Well,
when was that?
The funny thing, I don't know. I send you the dates and everything, but I don't know if I can find it here. But Foil Perth, he's the one that actually invented the term wake thieving. Okay, he was in a harbor. He jumped in the board. You can find videos of him in Instagram from 2018. So he's the first guy I ever saw doing this.
That's the bearded guy. I'm just on his Instagram.
Foil Perth. Foil /down Perth.
_
Super cool guy. Super funny. Super nice. So from this, then we started into pump foiling. And it's funny because sometimes I read in Instagram, you're doing pumping the Swiss style, wake thieving. I say, no, this is Australian.
It's Australian, but who really, I think, got it into mainstream was Devon, was the wake thief.
No, he was actually copying this other guy.
Yeah, but he was like bringing it mainstream. He was the one where a lot of people saw it.
Yeah, probably, yes. Well, not for the insiders,
Yeah.
So, this is a super new sport. Yeah, some people maybe is better at marketing, but this guy is for me. And also Shannon is Larry Foiler. Larry was doing the pumping like super early, because after Unifoil, this brand Axis started, of course, doing the foils, which is crazy. This is crazy. People don't know, but even e-foiling was happening in 2008. The guys who invented that were Swedish, and they did a project at the university doing e-foiling. Then there is a forum people don't know. It's called I forget the name. Let me try to find. I'm gonna go to my email and find the page I sent you. Okay.
Yeah, you can. Actually, I have it here. I have it here with me. You said that e-foiling came before pump foiling, and I was just
2008.
Yeah. Like
and,
what?
And pump
do they
foiling
have,
comes
like,
from surfing and
motors, or what do they use?
Let me see. Where is this email that I sent you? Here, I see it here. Yes, it's kind of here. Yes, here, I have it. Okay, so first was tow foiling, Art Hamilton, then kite foiling, Carafino, windsurf foiling and surf foiling kind of at the same time. Windsurf foiling started 2013, 15, surf foiling the same. Then Foil Assist comes from a forum called foil.zone. People don't know this forum. And people started doing foil assists in 2016. This is way better foil drive, way earlier than foil drive. Okay. And actually, if you go to the forum, and I know the foil drive guys, they are great guys, great people. They have an amazing product, and it's like wake thief. They make it mainstream. Okay. But people was doing this before, and actually kind of everything that you see on the market now is in this forum and earlier. Okay. So the first box with the cable is there since 2016, and then the box between the mast and the board is there since 2018. People is amazing. I love people, like inventing, right? I mean, at your workshop at home beside your car, doing stuff, hobby stuff, which is crazy. Okay, then wing foiling came. Wing foiling was an idea. First time I saw that was Jeff Logos. He's one of the owners of Slingshot. They did, and it makes total sense because you have a company of kiteboarding. So you are pivoting. It's the same factory, same materials. So who were the first brand? Of course, it's F1, Slingshot, North. These brands were already there. Duotone and North.
Nash
okay, so
well?
they did this. Nash, yes, Nash. Big credit to Nash. Actually, they had the best foil in 2018. We want to talk about that now. So they made these prototypes 2011, but they were not working. Then even not in foils, they were using like regular boards and using the wing.
Yeah.
And then when Surfoil happened, now they are bigger foils. They use this wing, and they make it work. So
But
of
it wasn't
course,
an inflatable wing, was it?
yeah, the first one you can. I'm gonna find it.
Was it inflatable?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was an earlier version, not inflatable, in the 70s, which it was a wing and was used by windsurfers.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give credit to that because, as I said, because as I said, there's a development like before Carrafino, which is this cherry guy, these people doing crazy stuff. They've been doing that for ages. But this is the stuff we're doing now is not coming from that. Like credit is Airchair, Laird, the kite guy, Carrafino, which is the one that bring it to the masses and make people think about this works. Because imagine you're inventing foiling, Matt. Imagine you have an idea, you and me were friends, and you say, I have this idea. We're going to put a plane onto a board, and you make the prototype, and I try. It's not going to work. I mean, people need time to learn foiling. Imagine with these old things. I will tell you, Matt, this is a really cool invention, but it will never work. I mean, you cannot sell this. This is like circus, right? So it's crazy for me. It's crazy how this sport has grown into what it is now, and it's because of brands and people mind creativeness, and joy, which is what I love this foiling world because I think we are in a moment where the community is awesome. You see people, you are friends with everybody. Let's go to the water. And
we don't know how long that lasts, though.
Yes, we don't know. We are, well, in my opinion, we're in the beginning of an amazing sport because of all the things you can do with it. Yeah. We will talk about this later, but this is unstoppable. Like in Europe, you have the lakes, you have the rivers, you have the ocean, you have waves, you have downwind, you have parawing, you have e-foil. I mean, you can do it every day. Everywhere.
Yes, and it's not. Yes, you don't. That's the thing. If you just talk about dock starting, you're like you have to go to the docks, and eventually there will be too many people at one dock. But if you look at other foiling sports like winging, like parawinging, downwinding, with that, you don't need a certain spot. You can just like distribute on the whole lake or like a whole area, which helps a lot, really.
Totally. I'm trying to find this. I had all these pictures ready, but so I cannot find it. But yeah, it's somewhere there, the wing. Let's stop this. Okay, so here we are. Where are we? You see my screen, but I want to put my. It's the first time I use this program.
No problem. You can say stop where it said share before, just next to the leave button.
Okay.
Down below.
Okay. Perfect.
And
yes,
we're back. Yes.
Okay, so let's continue. So yeah, now these companies start doing the kites, and everybody wants to jump on board. And here's a big problem I see in the market. Okay, too many brands. I have a list of brands. I have a list with over 100 brands. Over 100.
That's as much as there are foilers, basically.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And I think brands are putting a lot of money because they know this is gonna keep growing, and you are stepping on it. Owning kind of a niche, part of a niche. And yes, it's profitable. There are companies earning money, and there are a lot of companies that are not earning money because let's be real. When I see the products, and I tell you, I know every brand because I study every brand and every board. There's still a lot of room for improvement. And when I see the Instagram and I see the hype and people talking about fused lens, listen, hey, what wing are you using? I'm using 1,600 square centimeters. Okay, I have an old Volkswagen van that has a 1,600 motor. And that's the same than Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen engine is 1,600, okay? Same. So yeah, I mean, it's not about that. It's like I'm surfing a 6.0. Well, it's a 6.0 with 40 liters or with 20 liters. Okay, so what's the span? What's the thickness? What's the profile? It's too complex, I understand. But it's so fun. People is going, oh, he's using 800. He can make it. Yeah, it has nothing to do. That 800 is pulling more than your 1,200 because of the profile and the span.
It's so hard to really like narrow down.
So
and
hard.
Try to simplify it, and it's just not possible. Yes.
And people is so crazy. I mean, they are over nerding, like with stabs and stuff. Like, for example, another thing that really makes me go crazy. What length of fuse are you using? See, well, I mean, some brands, the fuses start here, some here, some here. You know, for example, a Duoton 66 centimeter fuse is the same than a North 70 fuse, you know?
Yeah.
So what you need to measure is leading edge of the front wing to trailing edge of the stub. And that's your sustentation platform. Okay. So I'm super tired of that. Also, people love to use super short fuses, thinking it's better. And I hate it. You know why? Because I see them surfing and they surf like this. Okay. And this is like snowboarding. It's way better. I mean, pitch, and when they turn like this in the wave, which is, I call it wiggle. That's wiggle. And wiggle is so ugly. What you want to be stable. You want to roll and push. And then you do amazing turns like Adam Bennett and Luke Atkinson, or Jeremy Wilmot, or some Pixels, Shane Westwood, amazing stuff, you know? But people is just trying to have the shorter one and do this. And this is like surfers when they go on the way doing this. And I'm like, man, come on, give me a break.
You know, honestly, from my side, you do you, man. You just do whatever feels good for you.
That's awesome, and I agree. But I don't like people in the forum saying you have a too longer stop. You need to use a 60. Or let's talk about pumping. You're an expert in pumping, okay? I'll give you an example. You know, I mean, you tried a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and people go like, oh, you can learn on a 80 centimeter board. That's plenty enough, blah, 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 blah. I kind of agree, can work. But then you go to the World Cup and you see people like using 90, like Rob, for example, or even Jurij Schible, also 90.
Yeah. His board was weird though.
Yeah, but he wants to do something. Yeah, he wants to, because he wants to do the flip.
Yeah.
And he's doing it, but when the foil
lands, he needs enough
attaches,
buoyancy to
exactly,
get back up.
the board sinks, so he wanted to rebound. He needs some volume. So yes, for example, this is my opinion. I'm using 87 and I love it because in the front I have a bit of scoop.
Yeah.
And this is great because when you touch, it's way easier to regain. Also, well, I do it in a boat. Imagine you are standing in a boat and this little scoop helps. And even if it's 87 and you can have some room to move the mast, you know, you can use a way shorter board. So, you know, everything is relative, as you say. You can say you need 8, you need this, you need that.
Plus, you get used to whatever you have, and then you like it. And as soon as you change to a better board, in parentheses, then it's going to be different. It's not going to be better at first, but it's just going to be different, which sometimes actually is fun. Sometimes changing it up and making it a little bit more difficult is fun. So that's what I really like. So we were still in the history, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about like winging, and then winging came up. And actually it was not. It was not my way into foiling, because I always thought I should go foiling. I kited a little bit, and I thought, well, that's good with the family because I can go out with less wind. And like over a year, I went out like 4 times, and I barely managed to really get on foil and feel that foil engage. And it took me some time actually to learn it, because I thought, well, you know, I've been on the water ever since, and how hard can it really be? But like changing the way to kite from like really edging to standing on top of the foil, that took some time for me. How was that for you? Was that easy for you to change?
Man, I started surfoiling, and I think it's the most difficult way to start. And this is what I wanted to tell you. The first boards, after Kaileni uses a regular board, there were two brothers, the Hurley brothers, Jeff and Ryan Hurley. And it was this shaper in California, very famous, Martin Shapes. He was shaping this board with the edges like today, like this, in 2017, 18. And I saw that, and I built myself some boards like this. But before, because I had no board, I started on a kite foil board. So my board was a 4.2, 22 liters, and I'm a 80 kilo guy, and I was easily catching waves. So when people, I mean, if you know how to paddle and you know how to swim and that, you get on the right spot and you can do it. The problem with surfoiling, the big problem is you cannot learn with big waves because you get launched and you fly. And when waves are smaller on the sweet spot, also it's shallow. So the problem is you paddle, you catch the wave, and then in 2 meters, you're hitting the sand. Yeah. So you don't have the level to stand up because you're learning, but you have this problem. So I managed to do it. I have pictures, going straight. And then I quit because with a 72 centimeter mast, it was not enough. I was crashing it everywhere on the shallows. And when it was bigger, I was killing myself.
Too big,
I was like, flying. So I started using an assist, which is one of the greatest inventions of history. Because then, actually what you do, you go down to the ocean and you downwind back, And actually, the part I like the most of a wave is not when it has the white water, because actually I'm a snowboard instructor, and I feel it's so similar. I mean, it's like powder. You start feeling the wave
without the rocks, right?
Exactly, and you feel it's beautiful because the foil is tapping into the inner power of the ocean, and the connection you feel is something different. And it's something so beautiful and so like you want more, more, So in the end, in the beginning, I was wanting only to surf, but then I thought, okay, I need more hours, minutes of flying. So that's why I got into winging, because I came from windsurfing, but I was not interested anymore. I mean, I was thinking, now I have to check the wind, see if it goes down, goes up, it's blah, blah, blah. But I went back because I was wanting to clock the hours in. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, we were with winging and then parawinging. Okay. I have this friend, Alvaro Nieva. He's the head judge.
Before we get into parawinging, I want to keep on that wing, because that was quite a long span where it was basically just winging, and the parawing just recently came up. Like, you decided that you want to wing. How was that? Was that easy for you to learn? Did you just
super easy,
right?
Super easy. Winging is actually the easiest. It's the easiest of foiling sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you just need the right equipment. And I really, I mean, we can talk many things, but market, okay? You have the pros doing the crazy stuff with the tempo from Axis, which only a handful of people can ride because it's super radical. Yeah. And then you have the regular people, the market, the real users that want to have fun, and maybe you can get to kind of good level, but you don't need that. I mean, brands need to do proper beginning equipment, and we can talk about this because there are not many brands doing like the right stuff. Longer fuselage to be stable, the right, not too big of a wing. Some people start with 2,000. That's too big for foiling. I mean, with 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, you can do it if you have the right board. For example, I'm going to put an example. I see every brand in the market and I see a lot of mistakes. One of the biggest mistakes that I'm giving you a tip. If you are a CEO and you're listening, this is a tip. Sometimes you want to find a board and they go like this: 410, 23, 5'2", 24 and a half, 5'4", 25, 5'6", 27. Okay, what if you are a 90 kilo guy and you have a really good level? You have to go with 27? That's super bad. So what they should do is to do a line for beginners like that, like where you scale volumes and an area, and another line that is for people that know, because I am 80 kilos and I want to have 22 or 22 and a half in which I think is the sweet point. But I don't want to go in 60 liters. I want to go in 70 or 75, okay? Because we can talk about this too. People, I think, they go to super radical boards and foils, and there's no need. I mean, there's no need. If you have a proper size board, you can do with a bit more volume, use it with every day, like 8s and knots, and with high winds and still works, So this is a problem I see there. And in the beginning, people like beginning stuff is kind of the same. It should be simpler and it's really easy. Like you stand on the board, you have a nice platform, you get the wind, keep it going and start flying softly. They do super thick wings that go like, So yeah, the sport is too young. I know they will learn, but and actually
the
what
foils
brands
that are out there now, even beginner foils, are so much easier already. So there was a huge improvement on that. I mean, if I compare to what I didn't wing for a long time, but I used some bad wings when I started.
Horrible. Like I call them like trash bags. Okay. And actually, I saw your video about parawing and winging. Very interesting. We can talk about that. I think,
we're still in the history, and you said you just wanted to start with the parawing and yes, you just mentioned it. For me, it's like the new thing, and it's so much fun. I mean, I enjoyed winging, but at my level, it started to not get boring, but I was filled up. And now the parawing, which is a little bit more difficult, but is so versatile.
It's not a little more difficult, Matt. It's way more difficult. I mean, beginner on a beginning kit of wing foil, beginner in a parawing. They will never learn. I mean,
no,
you need to wing first.
Yeah.
Okay. So
100%.
No.
100%.
Okay. So,
but if you know how to wing, then the step up to the parawing is a little bit more difficult, but not like impossible.
Totally agree. But yes, then again, the same mistake. Okay, parawinging. There's a guy in Hawaii. I had his name somewhere here. Yes.
Who had the pocket wing?
Yeah, it was 5-0.
Yeah,
doing this pocket wing.
But you know what?
I think his name was Sam.
It's funny that you say that because when I did this parawing comparison that you might have seen, I talked to a German guy, and he has like the parawing with the star in it. I don't know the brand; it's not really out there. And I said, yeah, I talked about the wing, and he's like, he was the inventor of the parawing. It was not BRM, was not Hawaii. He was the one inventing it. And I was like, all right, man, I don't want to get into your stories. He showed me emails where he had contact with Greg. And I'm like, I'm out of here.
But I tell you something, then I can say I am the inventor too, okay? Because you have these trainer kites from Ozone, for example, or North. They were doing these trainer kites in 2006, and we used it for skateboarding, okay? Yeah. This is like 15-meter lines, and we used it in a foil in the early days, with 30 knots, trying to stand up, and that's parawinging. So I'm sure ideas born in different places because you have the toys and people think and do inventions. So it's difficult to track who was the first. But when I say the first is the first commercial route that brought us to where we are. Okay.
Yeah, you can track that back easily. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can say anything about surfing. There is this guy, you can check it, a guy doing a surf foil board in 71. It was called the Dolphin. The Dolphin, let me check. You're going to trip out. The Dolphin foil board.
In 71?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Here it is. The guy is, let me check to move this. The guy is surf foil board. It was in 71. 71. It's crazy. When you see this, it's like, what? What is this?
And it worked? How was his foil made? I mean,
it was a guy in California. I don't know why I cannot find it now. First surf foil board. You're going to trip out when you see the picture. Here it is. Here it is.
Can you share the screen again?
So yes. I'm going to do it. Check this out. Here.
Wow. That looks like
Look at that. That's a foil in a board, and this is 71.
And did that work?
I have no idea. I never tried, but the guy did it and tried and kind of was flying. But this is not what brought us here, as I said. What brought us here is kite, and then kite landing, and then putting it there. But people was doing this thing. My point is people is inventing, and all over the world you can find really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So parawinging, yes. Yeah. People try different kind of things. Actually, I remember there's a guy that lives here in my area. He's the world champion of acro paragliding. Raul Rodriguez, very famous. He was like the godfather of it. And he was in Tarifa using a real Parawing, right? The one in a kiteboard, doing it amazingly. So that's Parawinging, and I saw this in 2006. So yeah, I
like a
mean,
real
these guys,
paraglider.
a real paraglider. This guys, Sam and 50, they did for me the first. The Pocket Wing was the first, and then BRM with the Maliko in I think 10, 23, 24. For me, is credited to be the first Parawing that you could use upwind.
Yeah,
because the first ones you can't.
well,
Okay,
the
so
Pocket
now
Wing probably not.
no.
That's
So, but this
pure
is exactly what we are seeing now. So what I'm seeing now, because I'm doing the rule book for the first Parawinging World Cup, which is going to be
Gonna
happening
talk
in
about that
April.
later. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and we will have amazing riders coming from brands, and we will learn a lot from that. What I'm seeing now in Parawinging, people is crazy. This is what I don't like also about the market. You put a wing in the market, a Parawing, and then people buy it, and then another brand brings another slightly better, and they buy it. They buy, and they throw away the other one. So now you have a huge second market, and some shops have B1, B2, and B3, and B2 still not sell.
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody's building Parawings, Chinese brands, every brand. But actually, and you know this because you tried, that Parawings that really work. I mean, if I have seen already 40 models, I could say 5 models are actually good models. And I don't want to name brands, but
actually, I'm going to disagree with you here.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Because I was like just listening, and I said yes. The first pairing, like the Maliko, that one really works. And I've tried the Kanaha, I've tried the Paia. I haven't tried the Ka and the other one, but the Kanaha is not better than the Maliko. I think the Paia is, sorry, Greg, the worst thing ever. And the Malika is actually the pairing that works, and all the newer ones were not improvements. On the other hand, you have other brands where you have the V1 that was terrible, and I really hope that the Stash number 2 is actually working, because number 1 was, I mean, that's not rideable.
I don't want to comment. I mean, I know everything. I've seen prototypes. I see every brand. I know the factories. I know every factory. I know people in the factories. I know what materials they use. I know everything because I'm an insider. I've been into this many years, and I know what they do. And actually, there are only 2-3 good factories in the world, and the same for boards. But there are many factories doing stuff. But the quality, I mean, for example, we can say this: textile quality is Japanese, like Dominico and Taijin. Then the bladder quality is Taiwanese, the good one. Yeah. Then the valves, everything. And you see different prices, but stuff is not the same. It looks the same, but maybe in a few months it's not working the same, or So it's a lot of insight. A lot of brands are doing good stuff. Wings are amazing right now. New Parawings are amazing. There are a few new Parawings which are awesome. But what I wanted to tell you is that I see 2 directions. It's like pumping. I see speed pumping, freestyle, free ride pumping, and long distance, long time pumping, and totally different brands. And you have seen brands of foils very famous breaking in half, like the front wing breaking, fuselages. I mean, I have in my hard drive, I have every mistake from every brand because I get sent everything, So I know what system work, which system are not working, and all the problems. Some brands has problem in the fuselage that gets like slack or play. Yeah. Some other breaks in the joints. Some wings break in the middle. Some wings open. Many problems. A lot of different. Even some brands have really good front wings, but really bad systems still. So when I see a lot at the brands, and you ask me which one is the better, I can tell you off record when we stop, which are my favorite. I think there are 2-3 brands that have amazing front wings right now, better than the rest. Like that you can pump, turn, downwing, parawing, everything. Like before, you need one for each thing. And I think this is also a direction the market should take, is bringing things together in a balance where you can buy a couple of front wings, like for light wind and strong wind, and they can pump. And these wings exist today, okay? The problem is people don't know, because you have the ambassadors and you have you're a rider. You're not gonna talk bad.
Yeah,
and everybody says this is the game changer.
Yes.
Game changer. Game changer. Yeah, but so actually some are game changers, but if all are game changers, how are you gonna know?
Right, exactly. I want to talk about bias with you real quick because I was just talking with some friends, and Gav at Hydrofoil, does amazing.
Yeah. The Australian guy,
such
yes,
a cool guy, amazing, and
Hydro
he even put
Gav.
out and he even put out the what he writes to brands when he gets the Parawings, that he's going to be do an honest review. He's not going to share what he's going to have to say. They have to give him the Parawing so that at least he has a little something for his troubles. And I thought, well, that is super cool. Then some friends actually said, now he's biased as well. He can keep the Parawing and he can sell it later on. But it's like, come on, you need to get a little bit of money to do it, and at least he does it for every brand, so there's really no plus. But on the other hand, and that's my point, if I do a review and I'm not going to pay by them, I don't want to trash their wing or their whatever, because if I do that, they're not going to send me anything anymore. So I'm not biased already. So what can
and that's
we
the
do,
problem.
really?
That's the problem. You're a rider, and you cannot tell the people that pay you that what you did is shit. Okay, you can't.
But even if you're not paid, you cannot, because they will not send you anything.
Yeah, but if
anymore.
you're not paid, that can also be your opinion, because let's be scientific. You cannot take a N1 number, only one person. You need to see the cross. So this is why I think I have this information, because I'm in the middle of the pro riders and the users and the brands and the factories and the events. And I get a lot of real information, not Instagram or YouTube information. Okay. So it's, as you said, it's super delicate. That's why I don't want to name any brand. Because who knows, in the future, I'm working with some brand trying to help them to improve, and I'm going to close doors, and I don't want to. What I want is this sport to grow. I have a lot of faith in this sport. I think everybody should try. And I think it's going to get easier and affordable, and the ocean is huge.
Yeah.
Let's talk downwind. Okay. For me, the purest form of foiling is downwind. What's the problem? Who can downwind? I mean, I've been in the ocean forever, and I don't want to go 1 kilometer away by myself, because there's no one downwinding here in my area yet. Okay. So if you see, it's the niche of the niche of the niche. You have a few guys in Australia, a few guys in Hawaii, crazy people doing crazy stuff. I really respect them, but they're using super high-end foils to go faster. They're fighting between themselves, but those foils are not for us. Okay. So, but imagine being in the middle of the ocean, surfing the ocean, pumping between waves. You feel the silence. It's beautiful. Man. It's amazing. It's amazing. It has everything. You can surf, you can pump, you feel the glide. It's like being in an endless love. And also, the ocean is huge. You can go 20 friends and have fun.
Yeah.
But this is where Parawing enters for me. The problem with SUP foiling, you need to be super fit. You need to be super technical to people think, even the pros are going on 600s, but if you go in a 1,600,
come on, just standing up on these boards is super.
Exactly. I mean, but even if you go in a huge wing, you don't make it. You need a lot of tech. So this is parawinging. This is the good thing about parawinging. Parawinging is basically helping you lift easier, and then enjoying the ocean. You can stash it. It's out of the game. So this is going to be easier for people to get into. But here's the problem too. I see two uses of the parawing. People started doing the chairlift in a ski resort, right? It's a chairlift. You go up, you stash it. But then people, it's in a lake, so they want to just sail. So there are two routes. One route is downwinding, like the new Ozone, what's the name?
Power Pack?
It's Power Pack, or the North Ranger. These kites are great for that.
Perfect.
And then you have another kites like the 777, or the other Ozone model, or the NCIS, which is a great parawing, by the way, or the F1 is also really good, easy, predictable. It works. Okay, so they're gonna go upwind, and this is what we will see in the competition, because how I did the tracks, the circuits, is they start all together, and they will do a reach and an upwind, and then the downwind areas will be stashed.
Yeah.
So now you need to choose what board, what size of parawing and what size of foil. If you want to go faster, you want to go in a smaller one. But if the soil is not big enough, you're gonna land. You're gonna crash. So it's gonna be key to use the proper. This is always the thing, right?
Yeah.
So let's like professional surfers, parawingers. They go in a, imagine yours 65, 70 kilos, and they use a 50-liter board. But that's not for everybody. I mean, what I think when you know how to do it, I think a perfect ratio is your weight. So if you're 80 liters, it's comfortable. And also, you said this in your video, parawinging and also downwinding is dangerous because some people, you put the paddle down, the paddle catches your front wing, and because of the speed, it makes the force and breaks your paddle. And also with the parawing, I've seen it many times, it twists and you're lost. I mean, real twist, like you cannot do nothing. You need to paddle. Everything has its pros and cons.
I would say if you have a problem with the parawing, but you have the same literage in your board as your weight, then you can sit on it and untangle everything. But as soon as you have a board, like a super small board, and I tried the paella once on my pump foil board, I have to admit, I used foil drive to get on foil and then deploy the paella to actually use it. But then somehow foil drive didn't work anymore. And I was in the water with my 20-liter board. The paella, double skin, full of water, wasn't really able to stash it.
You're in trouble.
I swam back for 45 minutes, man. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So this is my rule is if you're learning, and I mean learning, you come from winging, go 10 liters over your weight.
At least. Okay? Or 20 even. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but 10, 15 is enough. If you know how to wing, you have plenty of volume. Let's talk volume, not length, okay, and width.
Yeah,
volume.
Sure. They're a bit thicker. It doesn't matter. You don't notice it anyway.
For me, learning 10, 15 over. When you are a good one, go with your weight. And if you're a pro and you're in high winds, you can go lower. But it really doesn't make sense to me because you're really exposed to problems. But yeah, some people still love to be the coolest guy with the smaller board and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So whatever. Yeah, that's your thing. That's okay. So let's talk boards. People don't know this, but I have been doing designing boards for top brands since 2018. And I have NDAs. I cannot disclose that, but I've been doing boards for many, even like a lot of Australian companies and pro surfers, and also with the parawings, I'm doing boards. And I talk to a lot of shapers because Foil Encounters is about that. I started to put my stuff and I make the connections, especially with the insiders, because I don't look for followers. That my Foil Encounters is not for everybody. It's for nerds, like for nerds. It's for nerds. It's about boards and technical stuff. So yeah, I remember I was talking to and I don't have the name. The KT guy, the rider.
I don't remember his name.
Well, I don't remember, but I was talking with them. Adam Bennett. He was starting with a nice foil. I was already talking to him. Then the people from Hawaii, everybody. So okay, let's talk boards. Some people, some shapers, they want rocker, like in the back. I mean, not in front, the back, and some other like it's flat. If you see have also done a lot of wing racing boards for champions. So if you see the wing racing, they have to take off really easy and fast, and they're all flat. So if you have a flat board, it will take off easier. And if you have some rocker, it will be maybe more comfortable in the ocean, with the movement and stuff. But it's a big debate. Even shapers, one go for rocker or 2 degrees and flat, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? I mean, you need to put CFD and listen, Formula One, the best engineers, the most budgets, and they put wings that don't work. They put the wing in max and goes like, no, I don't like it. And they've been working on the wing for 5 months. Okay. So imagine this. It's, as you said, it's preferences. It's difficult to know. But what I know is brands are super lost. Like, for example, this happened in the windsurf days. They did a design called no nose, which was less volume in the nose and more scoop. Yeah. And brands started going more and more radical, and it looked like a shoe, like something like this, like a Moroccan banana shoe.
Yeah.
So ugly, not working. Same with foiling. They start going narrower. Okay, so go 18, 17. I have seen some 15 inches. Okay, so imagine, 15 inches. It penetrates amazing. It's an arrow. Yeah, but sometimes you need, as Yuri said, the rebound.
Yeah.
So when you crash, the water goes around. So there's a sweet spot. And they always try to push this to have the Nico, I love the model is 15, it's amazing. Come on. I mean, Parawinging, I did everything already. I did 18, 17. And you know what we are doing now? What we like? We're going for the 21 and a half, 22. Why? Because steel is penetrating well. And also you have the push to make it go up. So again, if you want to do a Parawing board, I would say perfect size would be something like 6'2" by 22 and your volume, okay? Some people, of course, then people tell me, yeah, but the other day I tried SUP 7.6 and it was taking us, of course, I mean, you cannot compare apples with pineapples, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but this is a real thing that people, I mean, Parawing boards I see, they're still not right, not right.
It's funny to say that. I just wanted to check what my board or the board that I use was. It's 74 liters. It's a bit wider than your usual board. But let me just check how wide it really is, because I'm curious now. When you talked about that windsurf board, that
No nose. This was
shoe?
called no nose.
I remember I surfed with the F2 axis.
I remember from Jason Stone.
And the yellow one, with the dragon, and it looked like that.
Jason Stone. Yeah, that was Jason. He was the guy who did the first spoke into waves. He was the godfather of freestyle, actually, bringing new moves. He and I am Boyd and him, and also Robbie Seeger. If Vals, you are listening, you know. Okay, so yes, totally. So yeah, Parawinging, a lot of development there.
It's 21 and a half wide.
It's perfect.
Mine is 5'8", 21 and a half wide, and 74 liters.
Okay, if instead of 5'8", you go 6'2", then it will take off earlier, okay? Because you have more penetration surface. But if it works for you, great. The thing is,
and I think that's super important as well, what you said, if it works for you, because so much of this is also a mental game. And if you think, well, this is the board that is perfect for me, then you're going to get on foil faster anyway.
Yes, but listen. Let's talk design. I love design. Okay, if you have a 5'8" and you're pumping with your Parawing, and you want to push in the front, it's way easier for it to kind of sink, do a submarine. So what you have to do is increase the volume on the nose, okay? So it floats. But then when you are sailing, you have more swing weight in the front.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I don't like boards with super corky noses. I prefer to streamline the board and make the volume like that, and it still works. So imagine you're pushing your board and it's not sinking, okay? If you're pushing and it's not sinking, it means you can still take some volume out. And you need to do a prototype, okay? And you take some more, and it goes, and some more, and it doesn't go. That's your sweet spot. So you don't want, why do you want to have some brands do super thick boards? Listen, it's super simple. You are limited. Okay? Let's talk about wing boards. For me, a free ride board, sweet spot, 5.0 to 5.2, 22, 22 and a half, 23. You can go 23, and thickness should be no more than 14. If you go more than 14, you're losing feeling with the foil, okay? So the problem is maybe you cannot put your volume there because you want more volume and you cannot do it. So you can only go longer, or thicker, or wider. So some brands go thicker. I don't want to name names, and they're super ugly and you're super disconnected, Some boards go super big, but then they make it them also super wide.
Yeah.
So you need to be clear of where's the balance, and then you make the board for yourself on the right volume. And if you want a bit bigger, a compromise is, okay, I don't want more than 23, and I have to go 24 to get my volume. I don't want to go thicker. I don't want to go longer. What can you do? You can do nothing. You need to
you can lose some weight.
True. Yeah, but... Yeah, true. But yes.
Go ahead.
No, think that the real market is people. Foiling is expensive. So it's going to be people with under 40s, 50s. That's the biggest part of the market. And they're maybe a bit overweight and want to have fun. They want to have... And this is the stuff that brands are selling. You need to think about these people, because foiling is not for competition. Competition is like the holy grail. It's where you push it and you learn. Because when you push it, you learn of what's the limit here and here, blah, blah, blah. And then you bring it to market with this knowledge to the real masses that are going to be the real users. And you want them to have fun, to come back and share with their kids and with their friends. And this is, for me, the ultimate goal. And I love Vals for this, because Vals is super friendly and wants everybody to try it. And I think that's the best thing is, like, if you can imagine, you can show your girlfriend or your best friend the sensation of foiling, and you can make the path, the journey easier.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Your kids,
and then,
man. You show your
kids,
kids
exactly,
foiling.
exactly.
Exactly.
My kid, I have pictures in foil encounters. If you go to the top stories, pictures of my kid when he was 5 years old foiling. You know what I did? I put him standing up and I pushed into the wave, and he was going foiling in the wave. And I was using an Armstrong, one of the first Armstrong, like the CF, was really thick and was really easy actually to start with that foil. This was the foil I enjoyed the most to start. Yeah.
The way I got my kids on foil was on my wing foil board. They just lie down in front of me, and I winged, and we foiled together, which was super cool. Now,
super cool.
With my son, I didn't build it. Jonas, a friend of mine, built a foil scoot, and now he's getting into like this pump foiling movement with the foil scoot, and it's just so much easier. Listen, we are already way over an hour. I want to talk to you about the SFT. You're sports director, right? That's your title.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I mean, there is like CEO, which is like political, like legal stuff, actually the owner, the boss.
Yeah.
Then we have great guys, actually. Tom, which is the tour manager. Tom has a lot of knowledge. He studied business. He's so smart, and he knows a lot about stuff. And then they needed someone to know about foiling, and because my background is sports science, and I did a master in sport like management, and I've been doing this forever. I mean, I've been doing I started with the windsurfing competitions, and then the SUP competitions, and then the kiting, and now foiling. So I'm in charge of kind of giving direction to this. And what I did is, because I talked to all these people, like I talked to Josh Koo and Jeremy and Zane since a long time, asking how can I develop this discipline and this and that. So I normally connect to some key players, and I try to put their knowledge and my expertise in competitions to try to make something that is a
when
beginning.
did you start
right?
with the SFT?
I started in last year in Leucat.
Okay.
With the pump foiling there. But then, because I was my job lately, because I was the PKRA in the PKRA like forever, and then I had a kid and I stopped it because I was in Australia in Surfers Paradise, and he got sick, and I got so scared, and I told my boss, I need to stop this because I need to be closer to my kid. I don't want to be traveling around the world. So what I did is I went back, because I have a PhD in sport, and I got an offer in the university. So I was teaching at the university performance. I did this for 8 years, and now my kid is almost 12. It's 11, almost. He's going to be 12 next month. And because of Alvaro, who is the head judge in the Wing Foil World Tour, and I coached him.
Yeah.
He said, "You are the guy for this. I'm gonna tell them about you." And yes, I went to the first event. And the funny thing, Tom Hartman, my boss, is a great guy. He always laughs because I go to Austria. I know everybody, because in the end we are all the same people. Same people. It's like windsurfers turn kiters, kiters turn foilers. And this is something really interesting about sport. Like, if you see windsurfing and kiteboarding is in trouble right now. Like, they are losing money. Like, the companies are losing money because the market is shrinking. Like, windsurfing was shrinking because of kiting. It's like cannibalism, like predating.
Yes.
Because I was a windsurfer and I want to go to the water with 12 knots. So I started kiting. And you go like, okay, I buy a 16 square meters and I go when it's light. But then when it gets 30 knots, you don't go windsurfing, you buy a 7, okay? So you are now out because you like to pack it small and it's nice.
Of course.
And now foil comes and I'm like, I don't need to bother people at the beach because, in summer here, there's a lot of umbrellas, like sunshades, and it's so packed in the south of Spain, and you need someone to help you lift.
It's terrible.
And now with the wind, you do this. You go to the shore in between the people, you paddle 10 meters, and you are out.
Yes.
And then you put it on your car, like super small package. So now when I compare, I love them all. I am a windsurfer, I'm a kiter, but windfoiling is here to stay, and it's gonna take the world. Yeah. So that's why companies are bringing Parawings and wings, because they see it. I mean, what you want to go into a dying sport, shrinking sport, let's call it shrinking, or you want to go to somewhere that it has potential. Foiling is the biggest growing water sport right now. I think it's growing 8 or 10 or 12% per year, which is crazy. I mean,
It's crazy.
It's big numbers. Still, imagine surfers. This is so fun. Surfers don't like foilers, okay? Because imagine, first surfers were Hawaiians, kings and queens, and then the Captain Cook went, and Americans started surfing, and now everybody's surfing. And then it's like a food chain. You have the bodyboarders, which is the mat riders, which is the lowest, the food chain. Then you have the bodyboarders. Then you have longboarders. Then you have let's see, SUP.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the opposite. So it's like surfers take the waves of the bodyboarders, and then longboarders take the waves of the surfers, shortboard, and then SUP take the waves of
before.
And then foilers in the top of the food chain, and they're like, I don't.
And
like
imagine if you put a motor on that as well.
And now you have trouble. But here's the funny thing. World best surfers like Gabriel Medina and John Florence, Joel Parkinson, they love to foil. And if you're actually a surfer, surfers in the past, they were punk rock. They were like, nobody like these, were outsiders. But now surfing is for the masses. So we are the outsiders. It's like they don't see us as cool. But if you see, for example, these guys from the West Coast Surf Club, these Hurley brothers, amazing surfers. For me, they have the best style surf foiling. In 2008, if you look for them, you see their carves and the style. It's amazing. It's why I wanted to do surf foil. And they think, now the ocean is my playground. I don't want to bother and to fight with the people. Every time I go surfing, I get pissed. Surfing should be something that you go, you relax, enjoy with your friends, you catch some waves, and you're fighting. Because you get your wave, someone is crossing it because he's learning, or someone is a local and he thinks he deserves more than you. Blah, blah, blah. Even me, I'm not a local anymore on my point because I'm not going the last 5 years. The new ones, the young 15-year-old guys, they don't know me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I was surfing here like in 88 and you were born in like 2000, or whatever, and I don't like that. And foil is amazing for this because now the ocean is ours. We are regaining
space. There's no problem.
Space, and you can use it in many ways as downwinding or parawinging. Pick your flavor. I mean, have fun. And even it's not expensive anymore because secondhand market is huge. You have a lot of cheap equipment. I'm seeing
and
foils.
Still good one as well.
Super good ones, because this is also a funny thing. The people with a lot of money, that I see this every day. I have friends that are buying the latest foil without trying. I think in foiling, product should be first. And I'm going to also name a great foil, F1 Skate. F1 Skate was a benchmark. It's a benchmark because it's already a 2 or 3 years old foil that works for everything really well. And I see new foils from other brands that are not better than this one that is already. Or imagine Eden is using a 4-year-old design, Lift 120, and he's winning. So, foils are profiles. You find the profile that works for you. There are some really good profiles out there already, and some even better now because there are some brands doing great stuff, but there is a lot of crap. It's a lot of crap too.
We're going to talk about that after we stop the podcast. I was just are you in charge of how the pump foil races are as well? Good. I have one question.
Yes, please.
And I had that because I wasn't at the boat this year, unfortunately. I wasn't able to go, but last year it was that way. And I asked Tom already why he did that, because when there was a start, it was kind of a running start. We had like these 3 sounds and then suddenly turned green and you were allowed to go.
This year the same, yes.
Yes. And it was super hard, or it is super hard to see who went over early, right?
You're right.
And
Yes.
I asked Tom already, and I can't believe why it was the same way. Why didn't you just like switch from red to suddenly green? So then it was time to start. No one would start early.
I will explain this to you.
Thank you.
When you go to a place like Boot,
Yeah.
this is, as you know, the biggest fair indoor in the world, and they want to put an spectacle. So the team that is doing all this, they are not pump foilers. They are thinking about the TV and the spectacle, right?
Yeah.
So they developed this, and this is what we had. So
Okay.
not otherwise we have to go like 3, 2, go. This is what I did in Austria. So we have to do, as always say, do the best you can with what you got, and you're totally right, because I did a briefing afterwards, and this is what a problem we had. I think next year we need to change this, or maybe even not move until you have the green light.
Yes, exactly.
But we wanted also to, because this is the problem. When you're a great athlete and you are the fastest, and you know, we have 5 really fast guys. If the fast guys is the fastest, because when you do the time trials, in this case, it's Eden was the fastest. He did, I think, the best time was something like 19.5. And then I measure this guy who is awesome, Kai Thompson. Thompson, I love this guy. I love Eden too. But Kai is so funny, so friendly. And also Eden, they're professionals. They have this mind of, they want to compete. Okay, so he was like 2 cents, like 19.5 and 19.67, which is nothing, okay? Measuring with a proper computer line. So once you know who is faster, how is gonna, for example, Matteo von Roll, who I love, what a lovely person, when they can't. So if you put this thing of the start, where you can gain maybe half a second or a second, I think it makes the competition interesting. Otherwise, if it's only about speed, you always know the result. You need to include.
But what I would say there, if you just change the light, then you have reaction time, which adds to it. And then it's the mental thing as well. Because if the other guy is a little faster reacting, and you see in your like to the side that he's in front of you, then you might miss your start because you're just nervous. So I would still.
You are totally right. And this is a problem because actually I remember in Austria, Eden did a false start, and he was kind of angry because he thought he wasn't. And I call it like it was. And later we watched a video, and he came to me. He's really like humble and said, I did jump the start. But the opposite happened this time, you know. Sometimes you go, it's a jump start, and when you see the video, that light is in the last millisecond, and it was okay. You cannot see this, but here's the problem: you cannot stop the competition because in Boot everything is scheduled. You have this time, and it was stressful. You know. Also, there are some mistakes. For example, you know, I try to make the competition to like everybody has to turn the same side so they don't meet. But then they tell me, I think it's going to be more interesting for the spectators if you have this Formula One fighting, like getting like blah, blah, blah. Say, okay. But then I regret. Everybody was kind of the same fast and finding themselves. But otherwise, if you don't do that, the turn, maybe you're goofy or regular, you're doing your back side or your front side, it's really, really difficult, especially in a place like a pool, which is limited by space. So Austria was, I think, way easier and better for pumping. But this is what we have, and we cannot miss this opportunity because Boot is putting the sport in front of the masses. Okay, so brands are there, spectators are having so much fun. I think riders, they have so much fun too because, you know, I care about the riders. I really care. I love them. We have a great community, and I was a rider, and I want to have them comfortable, having fun, and being fair. And if sometimes it's not fair, I tell you, it's so difficult because of these little things that you can see. Oh, it was right. It was not over earlier, this, but you sometimes cannot see it, you know? Or sometimes they crash like this. And if one was ahead, I was going like for this guy because it was more centimeters in front. But sometimes it's so difficult, depending on the angle. I wish we have this camera on top, you know, but yeah, I mean, I really think the final result was really good. I mean, it was spectacular. It was so much fun. They were having so much fun. I sometimes I feel pity for them because you feel the stress because you're in a competition. You want to do it well. Especially the start. You don't know if you're gonna fail the start or make it. And they are super competitive. They're these two brothers, the Tourneus brothers. Super nice people, super nice guys. They are super fast. They are climbers. super fit, but it's the first time they were doing this technical. So I think sometimes you go technical, maybe Ethan won. If you make it longer, maybe Turnus, or maybe Kai is gonna win.
Yeah.
So in a world tour, you need to put differentiation. This is what I want to do. I want to do different championships with different courses, sometimes in line, sometimes going circles all together. We need to be creative and fair and make the sport grow. And I really think pumping, a lot of people don't know, in Spain, we don't have pumpers. Pumping right now,
that much of a docks, like just in
we don't.
harbors, and no one wants to pump there.
We don't have. I built myself stairs like that, so I'm doing it in the ocean, but I'm the only one doing it here. Most people is winging. Winging is the biggest, and then you have this, but the potential in Europe is huge. France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland is gonna grow, and in the end, we're gonna have it everywhere. So pumping is gonna be huge. Imagine when it comes to the US, lakes, rivers, so much potential. Then surfoiling in the future is going to be big because now surfers are kind of, But then when you see the videos of these guys, Luke Atkinson, for example, in Australia, surfing, and you see the surfers looking like this, and the guys are getting 40 waves, and the surfer are getting 2 waves for 5 seconds. And you know what happened when I went back to surfing? I go back to surfing, and I feel like my board has a plastic in the fin. The foil is like just flowing, man. It's amazing. So when they try it and they see the people and they see 5 guys, 10 guys having fun, they're going to try. So in the end, adoption is going to come, okay? But it will take time. We need cheaper equipment, easier equipment. It will come. Winging, huge. The America's Cup guys in Valencia, when they stop training, they go winging.
Yeah.
So wing, huge. And downwind is going to be still, I think, difficult because it's a different challenge. It's a mental challenge. You have
also logistics.
So here's where Parawing is interesting, because I was talking today with a very good friend that lives in Fuerteventura, and he's buying every Parawing. It's like the new one. And I said, look, there are 2 ways. One is get up and go downwind, and then you will need another wing that goes upwind. Because a lot of people goes upwind for half an hour, and they enjoy the coming back. And you don't need a car, you don't need a logistics, just a phone for safety and your girlfriend in the shore, and you can do it. So we will have Parawings that go upwind really well and sail like really stable. And then other people will just want to replace the paddle and just get one that gets you up, no upwind, like the new, let's call Ozone. Ozone has these 2 models. I think they are smart. Ozone is a great brand. They build Parawings. The same with 777. They know what they're doing. Some brands are faster seeing things. So this is a super niche market. When we go to Leucat, we will see this. We will see what's the best wing for the competition. I think it's not gonna be the power pack. It's gonna be the other one, the Pocket Rocket. Yeah. Because the one that is gonna penetrate
probably
faster.
Pocket Rocket V2, huh?
I mean, there are a lot. Vaju new wing. Have you seen it? Parawing.
No, but that's actually on my list. I think next Monday I'm gonna talk to Philip.
Philip, great guy. I met him, but this new wing is a good wing. Okay. Then you have 777, great wings. F1, pretty good. I mean, you have some brands doing great stuff, So it's the beginning. It's the beginning. Let's see V2, V3, V4, and they will bring new ideas, new things. I already have new ideas for the Parawing that I don't want to tell, because I want to save them for a brand that is interested, I mean, in my case, I have a really clear vision as you are seeing of foiling. Every discipline, every country, it's a great sport. The community is amazing. I totally love it. And I'm stoked to be here talking to you, having fun. We can talk whenever you want. I think we can go for hours, because this is huge. We can talk boards, any discipline, like specifics, like shapes and this and that. I work with many workshops doing prototypes for the pros, that these prototypes after go to the market. Today, I actually heard from a brand that they had already the equipment for 26, 27 dialect. And I was thinking, what a mistake. You cannot do that in foiling. Foiling is evolving in 6 months.
Yeah.
You're gonna bring designs that are outdated, because that's not the way. I mean, the way is focus on product. Bring good products, good performing products. Don't follow other brands. Each brand copy the other brand. And I understand this. Why? Because doing a foil is really expensive. I mean, imagine a foil. A foil, let's take whatever brand, let's take the Axis Spitfire, okay? If you go 3 millimeters thicker on the same size, it behaves differently.
Sure.
If you change 3 degrees here, differently. If you make it square in the tips or rounder, differently. So this is too many variables to you cannot go. Some brands, I know Armstrong did like 30 iterations for a foil, but how much money and time is this? So this is what actually is happening. Okay, you have a lot of different designers throwing ideas, testing computers, CFD with the riders, blah blah. And because we have so many companies and so many ideas, one of those is going to be the best. And this is what the market is doing, which is crazy. Okay, 3 years ago, imagine the skate. Next year, the Armstrong HA or MA2. Next year, this year, I know which one it is. The blah, blah, blah. So people is like, whoo, 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 whoo. This is the people going to focus, because actually we know I saw in the competition which one is performing, which one is lifting, which one is going fast, which one is going upwind, which one is pumping. And I'm like, that foil is amazing. You see it. Then you try it and you go like, this is a great foil. And you know what the other brands do? It's very easy. Scanner.
Yeah.
You have the profile. Okay. And they know what they're doing. Okay. So what's the thickness? They have their models. And what they do is kind of change it, camouflage it into something else, which comes from the same thing. Same camber and profile and concave here and there. And this is smart because you're not wasting the money. You are going for the right thing. But it's unfair. Because the other guys are doing this.
Well,
and let me tell you,
doing it, isn't it?
Everyone. And let me tell you a quick story, because this is why I know this. When I was doing this kite racing boards, that actually I was fighting with Bruno Roca. The board was done by Alex Aguera, amazing shaper, amazing guy, very smart. And we're fighting like 1, 2, 1, 2. And I did 6 prototypes. Imagine how much work, iterations. Then I made one board. We went to Portugal, and my rider wins the championship, and Bruno was way far. Okay. So the board was better, like the rocker was dialed and the whatever. Okay. Because I was head judge in the competition, the next morning I was the first on the beat checking the flags and the competition area. And and this happened to me also in Germany. I will tell you a story too. And then I went to and it was taking picture, measuring 10 guys from Brazil. And then I was like, what are you doing? And in the next competition, 10 boards, same board. And I did the 6th thing, paying for myself, taking the hours to shape. And I was like, this is so unfair. And the same thing happened to me. I had a kiteboard brand called Balance. Some people remember it. And it was great because what I did is actually, I was seeing every kite and that one is planning early, that one is fast. That one is not throwing water to the face. That one has some really good pop. And I was I always go, even now with foiling, I go with my tape and my pen, and I go like, this board looks good. I measure. This foil looks good. So I have like this is my design data. And from this in the blender, I bring the stuff that I want to make. And I did this with the kiteboard, and this is not me. Everybody said this is the best kiteboard. I remember, for example, Bruna Kajia, world champion, Gisela Pulido, world champion, Aaron Hadlow tried it, loved it, Bruno Sroka tried it, loved it. The champion from Russia, Peter Tuskevich, great guy. And you know what? What they did? They were buying the boards and painting them with their sponsors. So in the end, I had like 5 or 6 really top riders using my boards for free. I didn't pay the riders. And you know why? Because they want to win.
Yeah.
And then I remember later, kiteboards were doing concaves and this and channels. And, this is bullshit. This is marketing stuff. This is stuff to sell. And people need to understand brands want to sell. And they will change the model next year. Yes, but I understand they have to sell, but come on, use the right model. The right model is whatever Apple, Apple not now, but in the past. They were not now, but in the past. You never know when they're bringing the next laptop or phone, because when it's ready. And it's going to be the best or better than the other. Right now, it's again marketing. But normally what you do is, okay, you have a great board, and let's say F1, they have this skate. They did the same exact foil. They change the layers and the fibers. it might be true. I believe them, but they know they have a great foil. We don't need to change it. Why? Just for the sake of. So brands need to do this. Bring a good wing. Something I see all the time. This is the best wing. This is the best foil ever. Next year, totally different. No, totally different. Okay, so if it was the best, why you change it? I mean, when you have something that is the best, you refine it, right? You go like, okay, this is really good foil, but we can maybe improve the low end. So you make it a bit thicker in the center or this or that. Little tweaks, not changing. So I'm seeing really big brands doing this all the time. And this actually pisses me off a bit because brand marketing is about, for me, it's like they try to steal your money, selling you a dream or idea. And I think brands should be honest and trying to put the best product and back it up. Like, okay, this is my sale and I really believe in it. I mean, I really think it's the best sale I could create. And if something can be improved, please let me know what it is and gather the data. Not only pro riders, because pro riders, and this is another example, some pro riders are great sensors and some are really bad. They are great doing the job, but really bad explaining the feeling. So, and this is why in Formula One you have pilots that are testers, and they are really good with the sensations and this and that. And some people like Fernando Alonso is known to be a great tester, but some other are not really good. So brands cannot hear only the pro riders. You need to listen to all your market, beach users, insiders, riders. So it's super important, a guy in a brand that believes in the product first. And when the product is ready, I bring it to the market. And then you're going to sell a lot because this is so niche. And people go like, I can tell you later, this is the wing you need to have. And this is the foil you need to have. And if I tell wings, I can tell you the top 3 wings that I think are ahead of the rest. Actually, not so expensive, a good price and better than the rest.
Tell me.
And the same for, not in camera. I don't want to.
All right, good.
No, I like to help people, no, because I don't want, then.
All right, you know what?
Some brands.
That's actually, that's a perfect moment to actually wrap it up because I mean, we could go forever, and I'm just totally. Relax, sit back, and just listen. So cool. You know what? We're gonna make a part 2 if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you want, Matt.
You're gonna come to Switzerland with the SFT. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be here because before I knew that you were coming, I already told Todd that I would join his free foil event in Austria, and then I heard that you were coming to Switzerland, so I'm gonna be there. Because I'm usually meet. If I say something that I'm going to deliver, so that's why I'm not going to be here.
But look, Matt, come here, come visit me. When it's March, something you can have my house because I'm in my girlfriend's house, so my house is empty. That's what I told to Buzz and to Rob. Just come visit. It's cheap plane to Malaga, and we will have fun. I mean,
that sounds amazing. I'm not flying anymore, or I try to fly as little as possible.
Okay.
But maybe in fall, in autumn, like September, October, if that would be possible, then maybe with the family we can figure something out. But you know what? Let's talk about that later. Is there, Carlos, anything that you want to just say before we wrap it up? Anything for the listeners?
I want to say I hope I haven't been a pain in the ass because I talk too much, and I'm very passionate about this. I hope I want to be respectful with everyone, every foiler, every brand, everybody. I just want to bring this fresh intelligence, like inside intelligence about the sport. And this sport, for ending, is about community. We have something really beautiful now. We have a big community, beautiful community. I like Trump, beautiful people, beautiful community. Brands are doing great products, and I love it. I mean, it's so fun to watch. As Buzz says, it's a great moment to be alive. It's a great moment to be a foiler. So let's just enjoy the sport, enjoy the outdoors. How beautiful is that to be in the ocean, to be in the lake, to be outside, and this is amazing. So we are so lucky, man. We are so lucky. When you travel the world, I've been traveling the world for many, many years with all these competitions like South Africa, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, China, and you see India, and you see where I thought Spain was like or Switzerland for you is like the regular life. And when you go outside, you see how lucky we are. Like the whole world is kind of poor, and they struggle. And we are here playing with toys and having fun. So I really want everybody to just focus on health, like be healthy, be friendly, love your family and your friends, and have fun in the water, and really say thank you all the time. And again, Bals, I love Bals. When I met Bals, he was like, I feel this energy he has, like he's loving and he's enjoying it, and he's like a great brand ambassador because he's transmitting this. This is what I want people to stay with.
All right, that's a perfect word to wrap it up. Thank you for the listeners, the viewers who
Thanks.
stayed with us. If there's anything that you want to know from Carlos, maybe you can hit him up directly at foil_encounters. And see you guys in the next one. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Bye, Matt. It was a pleasure.